Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. This is Misfit.
And I'm Kel.
And we are here today to give you a little recap of the front half of the week. Stage 4, week 1. So we're going to touch on some teams, what they did, maybe get into a little bit of the meta discussion, who's playing it well, who's out. So let's start off with some teams. Let's start off with Boston. Went 10-0 last stage. They look really shaky in this. And by shaky, I mean horseshit.
Yeah. They just have had a really hard time trying to adjust to this new meta. And basically the fact that Striker can't hard carry with Tracer right now is killing this team. Yeah,
it is. Because, I mean, their tanks are adequate and their supports are adequate. It's coming down to the DPS. And Mistakes can't carry on Widow. And he can't pick up the slack because they don't have the Tracer in there. Striker's got a good Junkrat, but that's about it. His McCree's okay. And you're waiting for Mistakes to do something, and it's not going to happen. And
yeah, it's just not quite enough. Like, they need so much more from him, from so many different characters.
What's happening, too, and Monte Cristo had said this, was, you know, your Genji player is your Widowmaker player. Right. I think it was either Monte Cristo or Mr. X. So that's bad, because Striker can't really play Widowmaker. I'm sure he could if he learned her, but he doesn't know the angles and all that stuff. You can't even do like a swap, like, you know, if you need Genji more than you need a Tracer.
Exactly.
It's just, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's really killing them. Just their lack of flexibility with DPS, and that's where I really feel like they're missing the player of Dreamcasters caliber.
Yeah. And his hero pool.
Yeah, exactly. But even with him, I feel like they still would have struggled because Striker just doesn't have enough of a hero pool.
But even in that respect, you could put Mistakes in and have him play Widowmaker, Genji, and have, you know, Dreamcasper play Widow or Pharah. You don't have that option.
Yeah. So it's definitely limiting them, but I feel like no matter what, they would have struggled. And that's why I really feel like it's starting to put a higher demand. Like, I'm expecting players like Libero, those guys are gonna break out, and they're gonna be the type of players that make a lot of money. Oh yeah, they are.
They're gonna be the more needed players in the league. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, if you think of 3 guys off the top of my head, Agilities, Hydration, and Libero. Those type of players are vital. Fleta, Prophet.
Before all the craziness, just as a player of Dreamcasper.
Yeah.
Like that type of player, like, it's crazy how valuable those players are, and it's just like, it shouldn't really be that surprising, honestly. No. Even a player like Sabiobi, like, he's got a wide enough hero pool.
Yeah, he's great on Widow. He's not like super crazy flashy, but he can play Widow. He can play McCree. He can play Tracer.
You need a guy who can play like up to 5 characters, and a guy who, like, basically you have to have a minimum of 3 characters.
Even a guy like Effect. Like, Effect is a valuable commodity coming up, because I doubt he's going to be on Dallas.
No way.
I mean, he's coming back. He's got his head straightened out, I guess, or whatever happened. But
hopefully he's seeing a psychiatrist,
something,
psychologist, or something.
But
yeah, getting back to Boston, like, we went on a tangent, but at the same time, it directly relates to Boston, and it's something we'll definitely discuss more in the off season. Let's move on to another team.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Outlaws.
Yeah.
And they're, I mean, at this point, it shouldn't be surprising.
No.
As much as we've said it.
And it's like they made this meta for them. And this map pool. It's literally the perfect fit.
It is.
You have a team who can't play Tracer in a meta where Tracer's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
At least 75% of the time. And if you hit like this week where they hit the magic map pool for their matches, where you didn't even really miss Tracer.
Right.
I mean, they're just going to clean house on this thing.
It's ridiculous.
They have the best Zarya sub in the league. One of them.
Yeah. Well, also, yeah, just in general, like the way that this team plays together, they are made for this meta, and we should have we did see it coming, but we just weren't sure
where it was going.
We were hesitant if it was really going to pan out, just because they've been so inconsistent, and we thought that they might be able to have other, like previously we thought they were. So I think we were just being like, they got to prove it, and they did this week.
They're like in Mystery Heroes when you get your main.
Right.
It's like, yes, motherfuckers, we're just gonna kill all of you. I had that yesterday. I had someone that was a Doomfist main on my team.
Nice.
He just cleaned house. But it's like that with them. It's like, oh, we got King's Row, we got Hanamura, we got Gibraltar. Okay.
Right.
See you in the playoffs.
So the next team I want to talk about is Seoul.
Yeah, what's up with them?
Disappointing team.
Yeah. Well, we learned one thing this week. Rouge Hong cannot play Reinhardt.
No.
We also learned another thing, which we've been harping on their coaches. Why didn't they sub in Miro on a map when they needed Reinhardt?
Exactly.
Like
Li
Li Jiang
I
Tao.
get it, you want to give him playing time, but by him only being able to play Winston, and Winston being a completely ineffective tank,
especially on maps like they were playing him on Li Jiang. You need a good Reinhardt on that map,
right?
Because you're inevitably going up against Brigitte.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to have him, and it's nothing against Rouge Hong. He's just not a good Reinhardt.
But
we all have the hero that we're
switching. I still feel like I get you want to keep Rouge Hong in. Like, he is an incredibly valuable player. I feel like he's still got to give you more value as he's playing Zenyatta.
And actually, another thing, Mr. X brought this up. He's like, you had Guido sitting on the bench for a stage or two. Why didn't you have him learn main tank?
Right. Or
have Zephyr learn main tank? It's something.
It's so bizarre. Like,
or feel pick one up before if Miro's skill level's dropping off. I know he's had wrist issues, like bad wrist issues.
The way that they've gone about it, I just really question what they're doing.
Yeah, so do I, and I just scratch my head every time when they roll a lineup on. I'm going, okay.
Yeah,
and then
it's really
you can tell Rouge Hong knows he's bad at Reinhardt, because when they were on Li Jiang, he was running Winston.
Right.
And getting absolutely smashed.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous that they're trying to do this right now when they need to win games, because they are in danger of missing the overall playoffs, let alone the stage playoffs.
Yeah.
You can almost kiss the stage playoffs goodbye at this point. They're already 0-2.
Yeah, and the only thing they got going for them is they're playing Florida and Shanghai this week. Mm-hmm. Or either this week or next week.
So they'll beat the teams that they should beat.
And lose to the teams that they can't, above San Francisco, they can't beat. Or they go to 5 maps and maybe squeak one out.
And I really do think you're right. It comes down to their coaching, and it's just, they just make baffling decision after baffling decision, and I can't even comprehend it anymore.
They have, Wikid playing Brigitte, and it's like the first day of Brigitte was out, and everyone's just running around swinging the fucking hammer.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like watching it going, well, okay, I kind of get you trying the Brigitte thing, but not so much in the good way.
Right. So next team I want to talk about the Fusion.
They look good.
Yeah. They look like they are ready for this. I was slightly worried that they had a few too many Tracer players, but at the same point, EQO really is showing his massive hero pool.
He is, and Carpe is just back to being Carpe.
Right, Carpe is thriving in this. Hey, Widow is basically in every single game.
Mm-hmm. I just laughed at the people that said Widow wasn't going to be in every game. Are you high?
Right.
Like the big time analysts. Some of those guys were like, oh yeah, well, we're going to see a lot less Widow except on certain maps. No.
Absolutely not.
Nope. Not with big meaty targets. You're going to have Widowmaker because she can have Roadhog's health in 2 shots.
Right.
And with these guys, 3 shots, he's dead. Or take out their support line and just totally wreck them. Mm-hmm. You know, bust the Brigida shield within... Her and McCree can bust the Brigida shield in about 5 seconds.
Right. Well, then you factor in some of the players that a team like Philly has. With the way that Carpe plays Widowmaker, it's absolutely unreal.
Yeah, and the only people he has trouble with are people like Pine and Seiya player that are just insane.
Right.
And from a positioning standpoint, not from... Well, they're also flick fucking shot gods, but...
Right.
The way they position themselves, he does the traditional, like, kind of, like, where to go. Mm-hmm. Seiya player and Pine are kind of like in that, I don't give a fuck if I die, but I'm going to come around behind you for some fucked up reason, and...
I'm just going to get the most ridiculous sightlines on you.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get me, but if I get 2 or more, totally worth it.
Yep. You couple that with, like you said, EQO, and plus this is a great meta for Pharah. Mm-hmm. And he's an insane Pharah player.
He really is.
And when they run those tank-heavy things, I would just, he could even run by himself. I mean, when they played Florida, which we'll get into later, because I have a lot to say about the Philly-Florida match. We'll save that. We'll save that for later. And it's not going to be a pretty thing, Mayhem fans. Sorry. Anyway, I mean, he just runs uncontested. He doesn't even need a mercy. The way he positions too, he gets a barrage in like probably less than a minute.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
And
he has just been a master and then the combination of him and Carpe is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, I mean, Snill is kind of out of this meta, but,
he is.
There'll be points where they're going to need him and use him.
Right, exactly, and he'll still be there, and that's the beauty of the team that they've built.
Neptuno is Psycho Mercy at this point. Mm-hmm. He had like a 2 or 3 kill this week. Just Battle Mercy like a motherfucker.
I love
it. I try to copy that, and it doesn't work sometimes. Occasionally it does. But also, too, the way they run their tanks, I like that. Mm-hmm. They're running them as synergizing them. Like, all right, Hakba and Sato are playing together, and Fraggy and Poco play together. Instead of doing like London does with swapping in and out and all this fucking crazy bullshit. Mm-hmm. Which we'll get into London in a minute. Philadelphia, I think they're a stage playoff, and I think they're gonna make some noise in the final playoffs too. With the way this meta's working and the way they're playing right now, I think the last stage they had kind of a setback. Carpe was out a lot, dealing with what he probably was hurt or probably needed a mental rest or whatever, like all these guys do.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the playoffs. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think teams are going to want to go up against them if they run certain maps.
Right. For sure.
Anyway, we're going to talk about Shanghai now. So, the Dragons.
Well, I really truly believe that they lost their only opportunity to get a win in this season.
Yeah.
They are going to go completely winless. And
if there's a team that has worse coaches than Seoul and Florida, it's Shanghai.
Hands down.
And a lot of it, they brought in, the 3 people they brought in right now are the only people that are doing anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're literally playing quick play. It's like their coaches are terrible. They are absolutely horrible.
I feel like I've had teams in competitive that are more coordinated than they are at points. And
I hate saying, things like this because they have a couple of good players that try really hard. I mean, I'm sure they all try hard, but that's whatever. They're not Dallas. So, like Gaguri, Fearless, Addo, maybe Dia are like the only things that work.
Right, but even then...
But then you're going...
I don't feel like they work particularly well together.
No.
And then just the communication in general, no matter who it is completely non-existent.
And their supports are a pile of garbage.
Yes, they are.
I'm a better Zenyatta than fucking not Freefeel. What the fuck is his name? The other one that's in there all the time. Freefeel. I guess it's Freefeel or whoever
I think
it is. What the fuck? How the fuck? You're in a pro league and you don't know when to ult? Right.
Oh, God.
It's just unbelievable. And no one's going, dude, this is how we have to work this. Like, we come in, we have a set plan.
Right.
Okay. So, you got your supports, you have your ults. So we're going into this fight. You lead in with trance. We dive in and, but no, he'll pop fucking trance, at the end of a fight to save like a Genji. It makes no sense.
It's so bizarre. I just don't understand. Like, it really feels like they just have a complete lack of any awareness of how to, like, properly run an esports organization.
Yeah. I mean, unless
let alone a sports organization.
And, alright, I'm going to throw this out there and someone's going to roast me for it, but unless they're betting and the leadership is leading them in the wrong direction, well, at this point, you're not going to get any odds anyway.
Right.
But you know what I mean. I'm kind of going on a weird tangent there, but it feels like it's like they're fucking throwing games.
Yeah, it's so weird. They're just so bad.
I know, and it's not bad. Like, Florida's bad. They can't close out a map. Mm-hmm. These guys are like, they're fucking up rudimentary shit in the game.
Right.
When you're a Zenyatta, you don't ult when there's only 2 other fucking guys around.
Yeah. And then just, I mean, there's moments like that. There's moments where they'll trickle in.
Yeah.
And then there's a lack of mechanical skill for a few of them.
Yeah.
And then just the overall lack of awareness, I think, is really their biggest downfall.
Yeah.
And at this point, I really feel like they're not going to win a game.
No, they won't win a game. I am fully confident they will not win a game. They will not win a game until they probably get rid of everybody on that roster, and somewhere in the middle of first stage next season, you'll see something.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the way the contracts work is you have a 1-year option. Dave, I'll put a link up. He does a really good esports column. I'll throw it up. He does other sports too, but he did a whole thing on how the contracts kind of work. So they signed a 1 year and then an option. So if you guys don't follow sports, like American sports or probably Premier League or any of your soccer leagues, so a 1-year option is the team has the option to keep you for another year. So you sign a guaranteed 1-year contract, and then the team has the option to say, yeah, you know what, we want to keep Gagori and Fearless, and they can let the rest of the guys go. I mean, right. I think it's going to be something along those lines anyway.
I'm pretty sure that's how it is. So it is like that for most of them, or all
for most
of
the contracts. It's
okay.
A 1 year with a 1-year option.
Okay.
1 year guarantee with a option for year 2.
I'm curious if with expansion they're going to do any kind of, or is it just going to be like anyone else is up for grabs type of thing? It's
going to be a raffle, I think. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we'll give you, say, Swoosh, but you got to hit us back with like $75,000 or $100,000 or whatever. I think it's going to be something like that.
I could see something like that. And then like you're allowed to like keep a certain amount of players.
Yeah.
Or like tag like certain players that are.
Yeah, they got to come up with a tag system or something like that.
I worry about New York in some ways for that.
Yeah, but there's no salary cap, so...
Right.
At this point, they'll have banked, at the end of the season, what? $1.4 million?
Right.
Yeah, they'll have some salary.
Keep those guys.
Yeah, they'll be alright. I think they'll stay together. Kind of like the Patriots.
Right.
Or like... They're more like the late 90s Yankees. It's kind of
but almost even more so because winning those is such huge bonuses.
Yeah. Unless they start playing Fortnite with the $100 million whatever the hell they got going on. Yeah, it's going to be interesting at the end of the season to see what the hell happens.
Yeah, I'm really definitely intrigued by the end of the...
Alright guys, so that's going to be our recap of Stage 4 Week 1, Part 1. Kind of hit on about half the league. So we're going to do that this from now on. We're kind of going to tell you where teams are at, kind of go over what they did over the week and what we think about, how they played and all that kind of stuff. Please let us know if you like it, because we wanted to go in a different direction, because it's kind of, at this point, we kind of got to go there, because covering all the matches really doesn't make sense, because like when you have matches like the Mayhem versus New York, we all know what's going to happen, and it really isn't worth covering. So don't forget to hit a like, a subscribe, and join us for the High Noon Pick'em. Hit us up on social media, and don't forget to join our Discord. We're going to do some more Discord stuff coming up, promise. And we're going to do some more streaming while the matches are on and all that, and do a little bit more conversation with you guys. And we will talk to you guys on the next one.
Catch you guys later.